In the heart of Mbale's business district stood a tall, glass-panelled office tower that sparkled in the sun like a polished shoe. Inside one of the top firms, Ketu Financial Services, people moved fast, talked loud, and typed louder. Everyone wore suits and heels, carried lanyards and laptops, and acted like the world depended on their next email. But one person was almost invisible. Aunt Imwika, the office tea lady. Every morning at 6:45 a.m., she arrived in a faded blue uniform with her flask trolley, a warm smile, and the smell of lemon tea and coffee trailing behind her. She poured tea and coffee into white mugs, remembered everyone's order, 2 sugars for Kennedy in accounting, ginger for Madam Rita in HR, and cleaned up quietly after meetings. But no one really noticed her. "Move, Auntie, you're in the way," someone would mutter if she happened to be in the corridor. "She forgot my biscuit again," one intern whispered loudly. "Why is she always smiling? Like she owns the place," another scoffed. The younger staff never said thank you. Some left dirty mugs on her trolley and walked away. The managers barely looked at her. To most people, Aunt Imwika was just background noise. But she noticed everything. She saw which managers came late, who always lied during team meetings. She saw contracts left carelessly on tables and overheard confidential calls while pouring tea. She also had a secret. 20 years earlier, Mwika had been a brilliant university student, but after her parents died suddenly, she dropped out to care for her siblings. She took any job she could, cleaning, cooking, carrying loads, until she landed the tea job at Ketu. But she never stopped learning. She read business books people left behind in the boardroom. She listened to strategy meetings while pretending not to hear. She took free online courses late at night in her one-room house in Makupa. Slowly, she built knowledge and a plan. Years before, after yet another long day of being ignored and dismissed at work, she sat in her room with a notebook. It was filled with notes she'd been taking over the years, ideas she overheard, industry terms she Googled, conversations between executives she silently remembered. She had quietly enrolled in online business classes, using her savings and a small loan from a women's sacco. Each lunch hour, while others laughed at her and talked loudly in the break room, she watched videos about finance, mergers, and acquisitions. She began buying shares, tiny at first, then larger, always under different names. She studied Mr. Lunga's habits. She knew the company's weak points, its market value, and its potential. One rainy afternoon, something changed. The CEO of Ketu Financial Services, Mr. Lunga, suddenly died. The board was in chaos. Shares dropped. Employees whispered in hallways. The company needed rescuing. When the board panicked, Mwikali acted. Through Imani Holdings, a name inspired by the Swahili word for faith, she made her move. She bought low, strategically, quietly. Whispers floated around of the anonymous investor called Imani Holdings, who had bought a controlling stake in Ketu. Everyone was curious. "Who is this person?" they asked. "Some foreign investor? A politician?" 1 week later, a memo went out. New chairperson to be introduced, Friday at 9 a.m. in the main boardroom. People gathered, murmuring. Even the receptionist wore makeup. The HR head rehearsed her best smile. Then the door opened and in walked Auntie Mwika, not in her faded uniform, but in a sleek navy blue suit with gold embroidery. Her hair was braided neatly, and she held a slim leather folder. Everyone gasped. Kennedy dropped his pen. Madam Rita blinked 3 times. "I am Mwika Neela," she said calmly, "founder of Imani Holdings and your new chairperson." The room fell into stunned silence. She walked slowly to the head of the table and sat down. "Some of you stepped on me, ignored me, mocked my work. But I saw potential in this company, and I believed in something bigger." No one dared speak. She looked around the room and smiled. "And don't worry," she said. "There will still be tea, but the leadership, that's changing." From that day on, the culture at Ketu changed. People started saying, "Thank you." Staff from the cleaning crew were invited to meetings. Interns were mentored properly. And on her first day as chairperson, Mwika gave every staff member a copy of the book, It costs nothing to be kind. A framed quote in her new office read, "Even those who serve from the background may one day sit at the head of the table." Thank you for watching and see you in the next story. Please like, share and subscribe.